Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to give you a complete setup for a Google Ads campaign for a house cleaning business. So as many of you will know, I have a house cleaning business myself. We've been running for 10 years. We're in 4 cities. We do 7 figures every year. And, I've been using Google Ads in my business pretty much from the start. And we run Google Ads campaigns for well over 40 cleaning companies across the country. So we've got some good experience about what works, how to structure things. And I just want to share with you some of those thoughts and just allow you guys to get set up and get on the right path. So as you see here, we are in a Google Ads account. So broadly, when we set up a Google Ads account, there's two things that we need to do, two main bits of work. So first of all, and be the most obvious place for many people to start will be, the actual building out of the ad campaign in the account. So that would include selecting which keywords to target. So house cleaners near me, or, cleaning companies in my area, all the different variations, creating the advert that people will see when they search for those terms. So that would be part of what I would call the ad campaign build out. The other part, and obviously very connected, but also extremely important, is setting up the conversion tracking. And this is super important. Many people don't get this set up correctly. And obviously, when we talk about conversion tracking, it's us tracking the number of calls and the number of online inquiries that we're getting directly from our ad campaign. So if we don't have that set up correctly at the beginning, it's impossible to figure out, what return we're getting from our ad campaign. Are we making money? Are we losing money? So before we jump in, we actually need to set up the conversion tracking. And, a couple of things to say here, so this is a little bit technical, and, it's quite easy to, maybe to get lost or skip a step. I would say completely don't worry about this. This is something you can come back to. There was lots of great help articles and tutorials on Google Ads as well. So you can always come back to that. But to begin with, we'll need to set up the conversion tracking. So I'll just spend a few minutes showing you how to do that, and then we'll get into the ad campaign build. So as you can see, as I said, we're in the Google Ads campaign. So to get the conversion tracking set up, we need to go to Tools and Settings at the top, and then Conversions down here. So there are broadly, as I said, there are broadly two ways that people will get in touch with us. So people will either call us directly, or they will fill out a form, a contact form typically. So, this is the landing page we're going to use. As you can see, there's a contact form here, there's a phone number here. So we want to try and track these two. This is obviously cleaning business in London in the UK, but the same strategy applies for companies in the US, Canada, Australia. As I said, we work with cleaning companies all around the world. So the first thing we want to do is try and track this lead form here. So if we go back to the Google Ads campaign here, we need to go and click New Conversion Item. What kind of conversions do we want to track? We want to track on the website. We'll just pick up this URL, put that into there. And what we do generally is add the conversion action manually. So select the goal, we select submit lead form, conversion name, let's just put test lead form. The value, just put the same value for each. You can put whatever value you want for the lead. I'm just going to put £1. It could be $10 if you're in the US, but it doesn't particularly matter here. Count how many conversions. So we just want to change that to 1. So if someone sends repeated form submissions, we only want to count that one person. We don't want to count it every single time. And all this other stuff you can just leave here. Let me just move my video up to the top. Press done. And then save and continue. So the The next step is then to set up the Google tag. And if you click on this, this link, basically the way that tracking works is that we need to put some code on our landing pages. And if someone from our ad campaign goes to one of these pages, Google can see by checking if their code is there, how that person is interacting with the landing page. And this is what the Google tag is basically. So what we need to do is we need to copy all of this and put that into what's called the header of the page. So if we go into here, you basically need to go into the your website builder. So here we use high level for all our landing pages, but you may be using WordPress or Squarespace or whatever that is. So wherever you've built your website, you will need to add this code to your website. So in high level, we can do this relatively simply by doing this. So if we go to the tracking code section at the top, we just click here and we can just paste that in, save. We need to do this for all the pages on our website. So we also have a thank you page. So if someone fills out this form, they then get taken to a, let me just save this again. Okay, and let's go back to the thank you page. So when someone fills out that form, then they get taken to a thank you page, something like this. So we need to add the tracking code here as well. So paste and save. So we've done that now. We can test the installation. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag from that. Don't worry, it can take a couple of hours, but we can close that now. And the second thing we need to do is to embed the event snippet. So as I said, when someone goes to this landing page, they fill out that form, then they get taken to a thank you page. So it would be go.neat services, and it would be if I can show you this. And this is generally the way that you want to set it up. So you can see go.neatservices.co/thank you. And we want to put the event snippet code on this thank you page, because when Google sees that someone has filled out a form, they will get automatically taken to that thank you page, and they can see that if that code is triggered from the thank you page, then that someone must have filled out a form. So they can then log that form submission as a conversion. So we want to get the event snippet, copy this, copy, and then we want to go to the tracking code again, and we just put it underneath on the thank you page and save. Okay, so we are done with the lead form tracking. So that's the first thing that we need to do. You can see it here. It says inactive. Usually takes up to 3 hours. So, hopefully later in the day when you revisit it, it should be active. As I said, don't get bogged down in this. There's lots of great help tutorials and things like that if it's still not working. But I just wanted to show you the general process. So the first thing we need to do is get the lead form tracking, and then the second thing we need to do is to get phone calls tracked. So if we click on phone calls to a number on your website, continue, and we can put test website phone call. We can use the same value as the leads. Again, we can change that. We only want to count one. So if someone's calling repeatedly, we don't want to track that. And then we want to put the phone number in here. So it's so 020. So this is obviously in the UK, but obviously same strategy applies for the US as well. 637 830 8307. and we just copy, that's the same display number, and create and continue. So we want to install the tag ourselves. We've already installed the tag from the lead form. So we want to go down here, and the way that the phone calls are tracked is basically Google will see this number when we put the tracking code on. They see this number, and then in real time they will swap that to another number. It will have the same phone. It will have the same area code at the beginning, so it'll be the same 020 number. So it still looks like the number is based in your particular location, but they swap it to a different number. That number then gets diverted to your main office number, and that happens all in real time. But that is the way that we track calls from our ad campaign. So we need to add this phone snippet to all our pages as well. So we'll just copy that. This is the thank you page, so let's put that on here to begin with. Save. And then we'll go to the main thank you page as well and add the code in there as well. So if we go to pages and then go to the main landing page. Okay, and then we go to tracking code and we can just add that in at the bottom as well. Save, save. Okay, so we hit next. And then, as I said, same thing with the lead form. Might take a few hours, and you can see it here. So we can go back to this and just check it. As I said, don't get bogged down in this. This is just, I just wanted to be run you through an example of how we go about this. So we've got the first piece of work done, which is setting up the conversion tracking. So we can actually now go in and set up the campaign itself. So we go into the campaign setting and then press create campaign, new campaign, and we can then get started. So we are wanting to track leads, so for phone calls and lead forms. We've set up the conversion goals. As I said, that will get updated. We want to choose the search campaign type and websites and phone calls. So we can just pick this up, URL, and then the phone number was just as before, 020 3 637 637 8307. Double check that, that's fine. So, and we can call this something like test Google Ads campaign. Continue. Just ignore that. That's from a draft from before. So we're creating a new campaign. So this asks us, how do we want to bid? How do we want to target the keywords that we're going after? And in actual fact, what I always tend to suggest is at the beginning we want to use like a max click strategy, because the way that you can get really good results with Google Ads is basically looking at your entire market, all the data. So what are people searching for you in your area? Is it cleaning services near me? Is it house cleaning companies? What particular keyword? How much volume? How many searches are happening every day? And then thirdly, what is Google charging us for each click? So once we have that information, we can then start to move our money efficiently and move it to the areas which are getting us the best leads. But to begin with, we sort of need to cast the net wide. We need to see what the market looks like. And this is where a max click strategy works really well. So what I tend to do when we're working with new clients is for the first month, we'll run a max click strategy. They'll say, this is our budget for the month. And I'll say, these are the keywords we want to target. Google, give me as many clicks for these keywords as you can give us. And that just gives us a great amount of data. In that first month, we're getting leads, we're getting conversions, but then once we have all that data from month one, we can then move to a conversion strategy in months 2 and 3. And that's us going more aggressively after conversions. Obviously, if we don't have all this data in at the beginning, we don't know where to put our money. We don't know how to optimize for conversions. So that's why I always tell people we always run with a max clicks strategy to begin with. So we want to click clicks here. The networks. This search network is basically google.com or all the other search engines that use Google's technology. I always tend to put this off, so it could be ask.com or all those other search engines. We just want to advertise on google.com. The display network are things like YouTube or the ads that you might see around your Gmail account. We don't want to include that. If you are a client looking for a cleaning company, you're going to go to google.com to Google it. You're not on YouTube browsing around. You're not on Facebook or Instagram. So we don't want to be advertising on the display network. So locations, this is for London in the UK. So we'll just add in London in the UK. But wherever you are in the world, Google can pick this up for you. And then importantly, under location options, we actually want to change it from this top one to this second one. So we're only bothered about getting in front of people who are physically in the locations. We're not bothered about people who are showing interest. So as an example, someone could be based in the other side of the country. They're being relocated to London for work or something, for example. So that person based many miles away may be looking at real estate in London, for houses to move to. They may be looking at schools. They may be looking at cleaning companies to figure out who can help them with their, house upkeep once they're moved. But those would be the example of people who are showing interest. But the conversion rate or the likelihood of someone based many miles away coming across your ad, clicking your ad, and then becoming a client of yours there and then is going to be a lot less than people who are physically there. So we just want to go with the second option down here. Don't worry about these too much. The ad schedule is important to change. So the ad schedule is which days of the week and times of the day do your ads run. So you can choose, you basically want to choose this to your your main office hours. So, when you can receive calls and get back to new leads quickly. We just change that to 8 till 6, Monday till Friday. Let's see if there's anything else. No, that's fine. So we click next. So the ad group is really where we start selecting the keywords that we want to target. So I'm just going to rename this house cleaning ad group. You can change it to whatever you want. And then let's go into creating the keywords. So Google has just picked up from the URL some keywords. We actually want to remove all of those. The keywords that we want to go after, we're obviously a house cleaning company, so it's all the different variations of house cleaning that you would expect. So house cleaners near me, residential cleaners, cleaning services, maid service, all those types of things we want to enter for our keywords. So I've just got a little document here, and these are some of the keywords down here. So let me just copy those over. You'll see here that there are inverted commas in here. This refers to something called a phrase match keyword. So if this term apartment cleaners is included in any search, our ads would show. So let's say, even though we don't have apartment cleaners in London in here, apartment cleaners in London would get triggered by this keyword because it is a phrase match. So you can see here, I've actually put London near me, a few of the others. So this is a relatively short list. You can have a longer list, but generally this is capturing the vast majority of how people are searching for residential cleaners. So all the locations would get included. If someone typed in best apartment cleaners or insured apartment cleaners, that will get picked up as well. So phrase match allows us to capture those variations. So those are the keywords, and then we go into the ad itself. So the way that the ads are structured are, you can see here, we've got the headlines 1 and 2. These are what's called the ad titles, and then the descriptions below. What we do is we basically give Google up to 15 headlines and up to 4 descriptions. And what they do when we're running the campaign is they will test different combinations of the ad titles and the descriptions. And the idea is that they want to get the combination that gets the highest click-through rate, because that's obviously, they get paid for every click that they get. So you'll see if we go through this step by step, you'll see at the very top is the URL, which is fine. The display path is, just extra parts that you may see at the end. It doesn't impact the URL at all. It's just for visual purposes only. So I tend to put the some of our keywords in here, house cleaners, London, for example. And as we start changing this, you should start to see this being reflected in this advert here. You can see house cleaners. It hasn't got London. With desktop, when there's more real estate, there's more space, you'll often see London, that second part of the display ad included. We can also add something called a call extension, so that your phone number would be added below there. So let's click calls. And it is this one down here. So apply. You'll see the phone number down here, which is great. And then the headline. So there's up to 15 that we include. I'm not going to fill out all 15 just because I don't want to keep you on here for so long. I've just got 5 different ones in here, so we'll add those in. But the important thing to say with the headlines is that you generally want to include some of your keywords in the title. So you can see maid services in there. In the second one, I've got cleaning. Let's have a look. London's premium cleaning company. Let's put, this value is too long, so let's put number 1. Number 1, cleaning company. We've got best house cleaners, London. And then we've got a couple more, but you get the idea. We want to have titles that include our keywords, but we obviously don't want them to be completely bland. So this is why, we might put something about a checklist, call today for a quote. And you'll also see on, above here, there's a more ideas section that you can click. There's an AI tool, so you can just get lots of different variations. So you want to fill out all 15. Ideally, but this gives you an idea of what we're looking for. So those are the titles. The descriptions, as I said, are at the bottom. So again, I'll just take a couple. Again, you want to fill out all 4 when you do this. So that's highly experienced maids. That's fine. And then in reality, the main thing that people are looking at is the titles in blue at the top. So we've got the descriptions. Don't worry too much about these. The call outs are basically like little bullet points that are added to the description at the bottom. So you can see here, they get added down here. So we can put things like fully insured, satisfaction guarantee, comprehensive checklist, experienced staff. You can see as I add them in, we're basically getting added in there. And the reason why this is important is actually physically, if we have a bigger advert that has more things on it, we're likely to get a higher click-through rate than if we have a very small ad with very little in terms of descriptions and titles and things like that. That's why we add the call outs. Let's scroll down here, more asset types. We can add more extensions. Don't worry too much about that. So click done and click next. So the budget, generally what I say is for companies in the US, you want to be spending a minimum of $1,000 a month, which works out about $33 a day. In the UK, equivalent would be sort of around 25. One point to make about the budget is that Google Ads can work really, really well, but you almost need to give the machine enough data to really optimize. And what I tend to find is that $1,000 a month plus, we're giving Google enough data to really get momentum in the campaign and optimize. The problem with lower budgets is, let's say instead of $30 a day, you were spending $10 a day. it's not really enough data to really get things moving. You know, you might start your campaign at 9 a.m. every morning, and then by 10 a.m. it's spent the budget, and then for the rest of the day it's completely off, and then it starts again. So there's a lot of stop and start. Obviously, with the bigger budgets, the campaigns are running for a greater amount during the day. So you just get a bit more momentum, and it's just easier to start optimizing and getting results. So with the budget, I would ignore what Google recommends and just set your own budget. As long as you're around that, you know, sort of $30 plus a day, £25 a day, then you're fine. So I'm just going to set the custom budget at 25 for us. I just usually what happens is that we need to fix a couple of issues. If you see here, if we go to keywords, so what this says is that Google doesn't like these inverted commas. They always say that. There's many reasons why. Just ignore them. What you want to do is basically just remove all of these and then add them back in, and it should allow you to do it again. So just bear with me very quickly. I'll do this very quickly. Main service. The actual reason for this is Google wants to keep your keywords without the inverted commas, because that refers to something called a broad match keyword, and it will end up you spending much more money than you do with phrase match. So that is why Google defaults to saying we don't want you to put phrase match in. But 9 times out of 10 when we do this, it works okay. So let's see if we get more success this time. Let's just see, it's checking for errors. Okay, your campaign is ready to publish. Fantastic. So we can click publish campaign, and then if we go back into the campaigns level, we should be able to see there's obviously a review back, and then if we go back to the campaigns, you should see the campaign here. It's in green, and this basically means it's live. So as soon as it's approved, it will start running. You'll start to see clicks and costs and things like that here. I'm just going to put that on pause for the time being. So I hope this video has been helpful. Really what you want to do is, once you start the campaign, is that you want to really keep a close eye on what's called the search terms report. The search terms are, we've selected the keywords that we want to target, but the search terms are the exact string of words that people are typing into Google and our ads showing up for. As you can see here, there's no data because the campaign is just launched. But, once you start going, you'll start to see a list of all these search terms that have come down. And really what you want to be doing is being as visible as possible for 2 types of search term. The first one is what I call the service terms, and then the second one is what I call the service plus location terms. So examples of the first service terms would be house cleaning companies, maid service, housekeepers, cleaning services. The second type would be where a location is included. Cleaning services near me, housekeepers in London, maid service near me. They all have location terms. And the reason why those terms are so interesting and important for us is because we get a high conversion rate. People searching for those in that way are looking for a cleaning service. So we'll get a high conversion rate from those terms. We'll get lots of non-relevant cleaning related searches. We'll probably be getting some competitor terms. So Angela's cleaning service, we don't want to show up for that. We want to add that to something called a negative keyword list. Other terms might be, how do I clean my bathtub? That's someone wanting to do it themselves. Again, we can add that to something called a negative keyword list. And the idea is that if we can get the majority of our search terms to be these service or service plus location searches, we're going to get a high conversion rate. And the number that I tell all my clients that when we start working with them is we want to get them to a 20% lead conversion rate. So 5 ad clicks gets us 1 call or 1 online inquiry. And, it does take a bit of time to get there, but 20% is the magic number. If you are, say, at 5% or 10%, you've got a fair amount of work to do. But if you're at that 20% level or higher, you're on the right track. And obviously, once the lead comes in, it then comes to you to try to close that lead to a client. So I hope this video has been helpful. Do let me know if you've got any questions. As I said at the beginning of the video, we run Google Ads campaigns for well over 40 cleaning companies across the country. So if you'd like a bit more information about what we do, I'll include the link to our website, Project 83, in the description as well. So anyway, best of luck with everything, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon.